Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys and offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Luba Workers Comp, a regional insurance carrier dedicated to providing reliable workers' compensation coverage to employers and workers in 13 states across the Southeast. With personalized service, trusted expertise, and tailored solutions, Luba helps businesses protect what matters most. Discover more at lubawc.com. And by J.P. Morgan Chase, a partner in financial planning. Looking ahead to retirement, growing your business, or for commercial banking, J.P. Morgan Chase offers advice and solutions tailored to individual needs and client well-being. More information is at jpmorganchase.com.
From Tsunami Sushi in downtown Lafayette, we're out to lunch with Christiaan Mader, editor and publisher of The Current. It's business Acadiana style.
Welcome to Out to Lunch. I'm Christiaan Mader. We often think of doing good as the business of nonprofits. You start a foundation, apply for grants, hold gumbo cook-offs, and hope the IRS sees things your way. But what if you didn't need tax-exempt status to make the world better? What if turning a profit and doing good weren't opposites, but the same business plan? Turns out a lot of small business owners in Acadiana are already doing it. No mission statements, no donor walls, just good work disguised as work. My guests today both run for-profit businesses that exist for something bigger than the bottom line. One makes magic, literally. The other runs a thrift store that funds community support. And both have built businesses around something very simple: joy and generosity. If you've been to a library show, a school assembly, a corporate retreat, a kid's birthday, or a surprise party gone slightly off the rails, there's a decent chance you've seen this man making balloon animals. Mitch Richard is the owner of MLR Magic. He grew up in Kaplan, where he was the consummate class clown. His real stage debut came in the 7th grade when a teacher gave him the first 5 minutes of every class to energize the students on one condition: Mitch had to keep a B average. By 16, he learned balloon art from Darcy Guidry, the legendary balloon guy at Hub City Diner here in Lafayette, and started performing professionally 3 years later. He's now been Mitch the Magician for 25 years, doing more than 150 shows a year across Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, and Florida. His company books not just himself, but other performers too. And while he performs everywhere from corporate parties to kids' camps, his favorite shows are at assisted living facilities where he says people just need to laugh the most. Mitch, welcome to Out to Lunch.
Well, thank you. I need to hire you to be my hype man. I mean, that was great.
You can't afford me. If Mitch is working his magic through wonder, my next guest works hers through generosity. Lori Guillory is the owner of Calvary Thrift, a faith-based thrift shop here in Lafayette. Lori also runs Camp Calvary, a Christian summer camp in Calvary Creek, an 8-acre event venue. Lori is a UL Lafayette grad, a lifelong thrifter, and by her own admission, someone who didn't set out to run more than one business, but kept doing it because she saw needs that weren't being met. Calvary Thrift employs 8 people, sources locally donated goods, and donates profits into groups like the Hub, the Outreach Center, church ministries, and rent assistance programs. Lori, welcome to Out to Lunch.
How are you?
I'm very good. Mitch, I was surprised, maybe not surprised. I'm actually still figuring that out, that you kind of consider you're not really a social media guy, and you actually operate a very visual medium. And so, like, is it that word of mouth marketing just does the job, and so you don't need to bother with it, or what? Is it just something about, does magic not translate on social media? I'm curious about that.
It translates on social media to get the word out that I'm available, but it really sells whenever people see me.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm a guerrilla marketer, where I get out and I show the public what I can do, and from that, then they say, I'd like to hire this guy. But whenever they're not thinking about hiring a magician, then social media comes into play, and I pop up on their screen and they say, oh yeah, I've seen that guy before.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised that the demand was like that high. Not that I wouldn't think people were interested, but just like to see like that many shows a year, the different types of things. I mean, I don't go to a lot of corporate events, for instance. I mean, like, what do you have to do differently in going to, say, a corporate event versus a child's birthday party? I mean, you having to bring a different set of tricks?
Different set of tricks, different set of jokes, and you're for a birthday party, a magic show at a birthday party or a school, it's a 40-minute nonstop, action-packed type of show.
Yep.
And then when I do corporate events, it's more of strolling magic, where I go from group to group, entertain for 2-3 minutes, and then move to the next group. You know, they're there more of a corporate event. They're there for business. I'm there just to create a fun atmosphere and then move along.
Yeah. I mean, so Lori, your thrift shop, right? I mean, the way you're kind of organized, it almost feels very non-profity, but you've decided maybe not to go that direction. I mean, I'm just sort of curious, like...
No, we are a nonprofit.
You are a nonprofit.
We are a nonprofit. I just didn't follow through with the 501c3 status, but
Sure.
you can still be a nonprofit. And so we're basically paying taxes we shouldn't be paying. I just need to go through the legal loopholes to do that.
Yeah.
And I have too many hats, so I'm just doing too many things.
Yeah.
So we just haven't crossed that bridge yet.
Yeah,
So
a lot of people would be, I think, maybe surprised at how difficult that process actually is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like, it does take a long time. I mean, it can take 12, 18 months before you get your 501c3, as I'm sure you've figured out.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. Just opening anything is extremely difficult. So, and then I'm juggling so many different things.
Yeah.
Too many things. I'm trying to cut things out.
Okay.
I want to do things well, and I'm at the point where I have to drop something to, really put my time and energy fully into other things. So.
Yeah. I mean, just given the way you've kind of progressed from different concepts, I mean, why a thrift store? I mean, it seems like that's something that, like, people, like, those concepts exist. I mean,
Yeah.
what was it that made you feel like that was a good concept for what you wanted to achieve?
Well, I definitely want to give back, and we've always given back. I'm a thrifter. I thrift every single day. People used to joke, and my mom would laugh and say, "Oh, I just locked your storage unit up. All your trash is safe. Don't worry."
Yep.
And but they're not laughing now. I have Coach bags. I have Hunter boots that have never been worn. Brooks shoes never been worn. My kids' closets are stock full. They are like, "No thanks. I don't need any more on clouds." It's you do have to dig. You do have to stop every day. You have to stop every day at every thrift store, every estate sale. But it's like a treasure hunt. It's so much fun. And you'll be surprised, like, the elite in town, where they are? They're at the estate sales on East Bayou Parkway. And they're getting that nice piece of art that, is one of a kind. So it's a blast, is all I'll say. And then you get to a point where you have too much stuff. So you I can't stop doing this. This is so much fun. So you start gifting things, to people, and you start doing it as a business to give back, because it's a hobby for me. I don't make any money at the thrift store. It's fun for me. And there's nothing more fun than cutting a big fat check to somebody for a good cause. I mean, I gave a check yesterday to someone, and they looked at it and they said, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And it's not my money, it's the thrift comes from the thrift store from donations, but it feels good to write that check and to give that. And it's not a story. It's not, make believe. It's try it, do it. It's a blast.
Yeah.
I just said, and it's a trend. I had no idea. I thought, it was, people look at it as you're buying used stuff. You're buying trash, but it's in people's minds. Like, do you go to hotels and do you sleep in other people's sheets that have been washed and used, and towels? I mean, at the spa, and why is that a luxury?
Yeah.
And that polo shirt, might have to, when worn once and you have to wash it, why get it dry clean? Why is that any different? Why would I pay $100 when I could pay $5? So anyways, try thrifting. And then I like vintage clothes. You can't buy that new. So I have to thrift,
Pretty much, you can't make vintage. It doesn't work that
Yeah,
way. I mean,
yeah.
so obviously, like, feels good to make people feel good. Mitch, that would seem to be basically what you sell, right? I mean, trying to make feel good, have a good situation. I mean, I want to hear more about why you're particularly attracted to, say, the assisted living environment. Like, what is it about that like just gives you the warm fuzzies more so than maybe some of these other gigs?
Doing shows at assisted living facilities is my greatest joy, because I get to entertain the elderly. I have experience with family members being in nursing homes and assisted living, and what I've learned is that the scenery doesn't change, the food doesn't change, the conversations don't change for them. And whenever I get to go in there and speak to them in the way that we're talking now, just freely and openly about lots of different things, and make them laugh, it makes me laugh, and that's what it's really all about, is bringing joy to people. I'd also like to jump back to Lori said she wears lots of different hats, and she's a manager of a lot of different businesses, and I'll let her speak on that. But one of those businesses has hired me many times over the years, and I'm very thankful to Lori for
What business
hiring
is
me.
that?
Camp Calvary.
Okay.
Summer camp.
Yeah. And so you're going to presumably to do magic for the kids. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
For years and years now.
13 years now.
Wow.
And he's our favorite performer. And I'm not saying that because he's here. It's not just magic. He's funny.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Kim.
no, and the kids love him. I mean, they're difficult. You want to entertain like hundreds of children for 50 hours a week. It's not easy. Yeah. And but he comes and we get like a little break. He's great. So
What's give us a taste of what your routine would be like at a Calvary Creek event. I mean, as opposed or Camp Calvary, excuse me. Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start off with funny magic. That's really what I try to achieve. I like to bring the laugh out immediately, and then for the next 40 minutes, it's fast-paced, interactive, volunteer-assisted comedy magic where I always look silly and the child or the guest always looks like the star. And I like to think that I can hold children's attention for 40 minutes, which is a feat in today's world, right?
Yeah.
But I'm fast-paced and I keep it moving and they just can't look away.
Do kids gravitate more to the jokes, or do they gravitate more? I mean, you're doing, I think, a lot of card-based illusions, that kind of stuff. I mean, like, what is it that gets a kid going, or is it both? I mean, I guess it could be both.
I think it's just being on their level. I'm an old man now, but I'm definitely still a child at heart, and I do comedy, like I said, and I just involve them, a lot of silly stuff, and that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
I do card magic, but also I'm a prop magician. And so I use lots of different props, and I also use ordinary everyday objects in my show that they can go home and show their parents what they learned. One of those things is how to make bubbles the size of basketballs with their hands, using only soap and water. After a show like at Camp Calvary, for Lori, those kids will go home and say, "Look, Mom, Dad, look what I learned at Camp Calvary today. This this magician came in and he showed us how to make bubbles with our hands." And I can tell you, I've been in the business 25 years. Parents come up to me now and they say, "My grandkids are doing this because you showed our kid that 20 years ago."
Yeah.
So there's some longevity there as well.
Yeah, I mean, magic is, I think, an enduring fascination for kids. I mean, look, maybe it's instructive here. I mean, Lori, you've been working with this guy for 13 years. When you set out to look for an entertainer, did you say, like, what I need is a magician, or was it, I got to get something to keep these kids entertained? I mean, where did it come from for you?
I mean, we have to keep our calendar completely solid. Every minute has to be busy or they're going to be bored.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I really didn't know when I started. I was just kind of, who's their entertainers? We booked them, and then it's kind of trial and error, if I'm honest. And it gets better every year, though. You're like, okay, that didn't work. This worked. He's been here since we started, and we've kept him every year. So other things like Dustin Saunier, he sang last night at Calvary Creek. Phenomenal. He's phenomenal. But maybe not with kids, you know what I mean? He sang for us one time, and the kids were like, I can't move. I'm sitting here just listening to music. It wasn't for them, but for adults, absolutely. But for him, I mean, it's a hit every year. Mm-hmm. Probably, I have a picture of my own child, like, just in full laugh, like joy, and it's one of my favorite pictures, and it was at his show. So just so I could keep some things straight, I mean, just describe for me what Camp Calvary is versus Calvary Creek, which you just mentioned. I think it's an event venue. I mean, it sounds like you said very earlier you're doing a lot of things. You're wearing a lot of hats. So I'm trying to figure out which hat you're wearing at different times. Okay, Calvary Creek. So the way that we started, we rented the Shrine Club on Gilbo, and then ran Camp Calvary out of that, and then I ended up taking over that management, and we would rent the building out. And the businesses would work together. Where, like, when Camp Calvary wasn't there, we'd rent the business out and get weddings or events. And that income would pay for the facility. So Camp Calvary had no facility cost. So, I mean, you're talking $70,000, $80,000 a year that Camp Calvary did not have to pay. Wow. So, with rent and insurance and, repairs and pest control, electricity, all the things. So it really became a really good partnership, and it's not rare if you look in the camp industry across the country. It's rare here because people don't do traditional camps locally in Lafayette. But it
What do
really
you mean
worked
by
really
traditional
well.
camps? when you say-
Traditional camps. I mean, they'll do like a daycare camp where they go to, but for us, we try to have that feel like, we're always going canoeing. Of course,
Oh.
not on Gilbo.
So like
but
when
we're-
people think of summer camp,
Yeah.
like cabins and
Yes.
okay, gotcha.
So we
okay.
do that, but in a day format.
Yeah.
So like we'll go canoe for the day, so like the older campers, or like so we try to just get and do all the things you would do at a traditional summer camp, but daytime and local. If that makes sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So and then I guess Calvary Creek then is a more
we built our own
Okay.
is what happened, and so we're doing the same thing, same concept, but now we own and we've moved to a new location. So Calvary Creek is a rental facility, and then just like any other rental facility in town, that when they don't have an event, they'll do concerts and things like that to bring people in.
Yeah. And are all these things housed under the same like business, or did you have to go and set up individual?
Well, I did
businesses?
decide to do
Yeah.
Calvary Creek as a DBA for Camp Calvary.
Okay.
For financial purposes, it's, a new business,
Sure.
getting funding, and good luck. So I earned many years of business credit and those sort of things. So I just kind of merged the two together.
Yeah.
So they're together, those two together.
You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Christian Mader. I'm talking with thrift shop and summer camp owner Laurie Guidry and magician and balloon artist Mitch Richard. So, Mitch, one thing that I found really interesting about your background, right, is like you're a performer, but you're also managing other performers. And so I'm just sort of curious at what point in your career you decided, all right, a lot of people would just, I'm sure it's a competitive space, say like, I got my own thing going, I can make money doing this thing, I'm not going to bother booking other performers or that kind of, but I mean, like, when did that happen? I mean, and why?
It started at the conception of my business whenever I came back from traveling with the Renaissance Festival. There were other people like me in town, but there wasn't a hub to find them all. And so I approached them and I said, hey, look, I have an idea that let me be the mouthpiece and I'll sell your services and you'll work for the company as a contract laborer. They are their own boss, but I'm their biggest client. I come to them and say, hey, look, I have a job. Are you interested? And they say yes or no. And I've created a team now that I've had some working with me for 15 years plus.
Wow.
And I'm very, very proud of that.
And are they all different types of entertainers, or are they all balloon comedy magicians? I mean, what do they do?
Face painting, balloon art, comedy magicians. We
Yeah.
have snow cone providers. We have different petting zoos.
Yeah.
And really, it's just people who run good businesses. I want to do good business with them.
Yeah.
And so when I've created MLRmagic.com and MitchTheMagician.com as a hub for the community and the public to come to, and when they go on the website MitchTheMagician.com, they will see all the things that we offer. And if they don't see it, they say, do you know of? And I'll say, yes, I do.
So I mean, does that make you like a talent agent? I
Absolutely.
mean, like, yeah. I mean, like
Yes,
you're
sir.
basically a booking agent. I mean, so is it like a commission-based business for you, or are you okay? So like, if you help them get a gig, you get some percentage of that.
Correct.
That's
Yes, sir.
really interesting.
And I'm interested in that with other talent agents as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm open for our business. And so I was just thinking, Christian, magic is a visual industry. But for your show, I created an audio magic trick just for you. You ready?
I'm 100%. Yeah.
All right, Christian, if you would, please think of your age. Don't tell me what it is. Just say you got it.
Got it.
All right? Add 5 to it. Don't
Okay.
tell me what it is. Just tell me when you got it.
I got it.
All right, so Christian, you have your age plus 5. Is that correct?
I do.
That's how old you're going to be in 5 years. Whoa. Wow.
The problem with that joke is it counted on my ability to add.
Right,
I mean,
right.
like, if I had messed that up, I would be wrong, and then we'd both be wrong. I just want to
Right.
clarify.
Well,
You
yeah.
put a lot of faith in my math. and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well,
to your- I'm not as. Yeah, that was good. I was really hoping. I mean, because you're right. Like, it was like, is there a way that we can get some of how you work on there? I mean, I think stand-up comedy in general, and I know what you're doing is sort of a cousin to that, is really challenging to do well. I mean, how much are you having to spend time just developing bits? I mean, to be able to like do your bookings, do your shows, book other people's shows, and then just hone a craft that's interesting that doesn't get stale.
Well, I have a wonderful business partner named Susie. She goes by Susie Q. She's our #1 top face painter, and she's also the administrator of the business. Without her, I would not be able to do the amount of business that we have coming in. And she takes care of all the administration, the booking, the talking with the clients, and all that stuff. And so she really freed me up to allow me to be the entertainer more than the administrator, because that was really tough for me. I was always the entertainer. I had to learn to be the administrator, and that was her thing. And so without her, I wouldn't be able to be here at this level, and I'm very thankful for her.
I mean, so Lori, it sounds like you had a sense that there was a market for a different type of camp. I mean, you said like there wasn't this sort of traditional style camp, which I will reveal that I'm 41 plus 5 is 46. So, but I remember, you're right. Like as a kid, summer camps for me were mostly, soccer camp or whatever. There wasn't a lot of like the traditional, hey, we're going to go out canoeing kind of thing available. But was it mostly that you saw that market gap? Was it that you were just generally interested in doing camps because you like kids? Was it that you felt like maybe there wasn't an availability for like a faith-based option or something? I'm just sort of curious, like when you kind of went down that road, what was the opening that you saw?
I mean, truthfully, I think I was called to do it spiritually. So I couldn't wait to drop my kids off at daycare on Monday. I mean, it was like, I was working so hard and I love my children, but they were a distraction and it was overwhelming to try to accomplish things. And my kids are interrupting if they're young. And then my son was miserable at the camps he was going to. He would rather go to school. And so there were so many factors. And so I kind of fell into it, kind of felt forced into doing it. But then when I wasn't working and my job was the children, it clicked and it made sense. And it was kind of like God knew better than I did, that because I wouldn't have kind of chose that. And but when I was in it, it made perfect sense. And so I always wanted to, I'm a workaholic, but family is extremely important to me. And my father worked a lot, but he was away a lot. And it really stuck with me. I didn't want that lifestyle. So I think being able to work all the time, and my kids are literally with me all the time at work. I mean, I couldn't have planned it any better, So, and kids are awesome. I feel like you may not see it now, but I'm very socially awkward with adults. And but kids, I can be myself, and they are. And when you talk to them, if you just treat them, and I think he said it, put them on your level. Like, I don't care if they're 9 or 10. Just say, hey, how was your day? Well, what happened? Just talk to them like you talk to anyone. And they're amazing. They're moldable. They're full of life. They're not weighed down with all the pressures and worries that we are. I think adults forget how to live, forget how to have fun, forget how to be happy. And I have all these crazy ideas, and I'll say, like, let's, get in costume, get a limo bus, and go, laser tag. And, most adults are like, you tell the kids, let's do it. They're like, yeah, let's go. I mean, and we have a blast. And it's, I don't know. I think I'm meant to do this. I just think I was called and pulled into it by God, maybe.
Mitch, I mean, you work with all sort of age ranges and stuff like that, but when you stepped into it, were you thinking, my primary audience for what I do is going to be kids? I mean, it seems like you're very intentional about how you approach that as a performer, but was it always in your mind that you would kind of do all kinds of events? Did you think, nah, I'd really rather just work with kids or seniors or what have you?
I started off with kids, and then I realized that I had the ability to make the adults laugh as well as the kids. And that led me into going into the corporate market to be able to, create fun atmospheres for corporate events. And sometimes they're kind of stuffy, and a lot of times they have people that go to corporate events that are just standing by themselves. They don't have that what it takes to go and introduce themselves to others, and I'm the icebreaker there. I walk up and I'm like, hey, let me go ahead and tell you something funny, and then let me introduce you to, someone else there, and that gets people connected. I'm really about connecting people. I love that part of my job. I think that's one of my strong points, is just being able to connect people who normally wouldn't be talking to each other. What reason would they have to be talking to each other besides, oh, look what this dude just did? Right?
Do you find that you have to keep up with like trends in magic?
No, I have to keep up with learning new magic constantly because of a lot of times being in Acadiana, it's big, but it ain't that big.
Yeah.
And people have seen my show multiple times, kind of like at Lori's Camp Calvary. I really feel the push and to be driven to bring new tricks to her camp and to the other venues that I do, because I want parents to say, I don't want parents to say, oh, we've seen that before. I want them to say, oh, that's new.
Yeah.
And that drives me. I mean, it gives you, it's kind of like a silent force to be better every time, all the time, get better, keep it going.
Yeah. I mean, do you, if you want to learn a new magic trick, I mean, there's this sort of, I don't know if it's a myth or not, but like, you could never reveal the how it works. And so like, I'm always struck, but there are people who nevertheless learn how to do it. And so if you're trying to is it that you're conceiving and creating a new trick, or you're going to meet somebody else and saying, I saw your act and you got 3 things that I'd like to borrow? I mean, how does that work actually?
I think it's a mixture of two. As a magician, I've created my own tricks, but there's so many tricks out there that everybody's already thought of. Yeah. And so if I want to learn a new trick that I've seen someone else do, and I'll tell this to anybody, YouTube, y'all. Go to YouTube. Anything you want to do, I don't care what it is. It could be fix a car. It could learn how to do a ballet pirouette. You can do whatever you want to do if you go to YouTube and just type that in, and then you can look and see if that's something you want to do. Now, the key to knowing something and actually doing something is practicing. If you don't have that practice in you, if you don't have that want to practice, then you're just going to know how to do it, but you won't be able to really do it. Yeah. And that is the sweet spot. That is the magic. Being attentive, being disciplined about learning something, and then practicing it over and over again until it becomes fluid and easy for you, and that is magic.
I think maybe another way to kind of think about all this is that, like, to be good at what you do just takes care, right? You really have to love what you do and put yourself into it, and that shows up for people, right? I mean, people respond to it. If you're authentic, they know it, whether you're actually performing a magic trick or maybe running at summer camp. So, Mitch, Lori, thank you so much for joining me today on Out to Lunch Acadiana.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
My guests on Out to Lunch Acadiana today have been Mitch Richard, magician and owner of MLR Magic, and Lori Guidry, owner of Calvary Thrift, Camp Calvary in Calvary Creek. We edited this conversation for broadcast, and you can hear the full unedited version and learn more about Mitch and Lori by subscribing to the Out to Lunch Acadiana podcast, available on your podcast app and on itsacadiana.com. If you want to see what we all look like, photos from this show are on our social media and website. Today's photos were taken by Astor Morgan. See more of Astor's photos at astormorgan.com. Out to Lunch Acadiana is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsacadiana.com and KRVS 88.7 FM. The producer of our show is Grant Morris. Our technical producer is Eric Merle. Our associate producer and researcher is Leah Urdialis. And today's show was engineered by Dylan Babineau. I'm Christiaan Mader. I'm the editor of The Current, Lafayette's nonprofit newsroom. Get the scoop on Lafayette. Go to thecurrentla.com and sign up for our free newsletter. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time for more business on Out to Lunch Acadiana. See you then.
Out to Lunch Acadiana was recorded live over lunch at Tsunami Sushi on Jefferson Street in downtown Lafayette. Tsunami is open Tuesday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, serving sushi, sashimi, salads, and authentic Japanese grilled dishes. Tsunami welcomes casual dining or reservations. More information at servingsushi.com. Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker. Established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys and offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Luba Workers' Comp, a regional insurance carrier dedicated to providing reliable workers' compensation coverage to employers and workers in 13 states across the Southeast. With personalized service, trusted expertise, and tailored solutions, Luba helps businesses protect what matters most. Discover more at lubawc.com. And by J.P. Morgan Chase, a partner in financial planning. Looking ahead to retirement, growing your business, or for commercial banking, J.P. Morgan Chase offers advice and solutions tailored to individual needs and client well-being. More information is at jpmorganchase.com. Mitchell Foreman wrote and performs all the music on Out to Lunch. You can hear Mitchell's music anywhere great jazz is sold or streamed, and at mitchellforeman.com.